to show what we're working on and what we're stuck on and what we failed at. Just a chance for us to see all the cool stuff that Knox Makers members are doing. We have a few names on the list tonight, so we'll start off with David, who is going to show some dominoes.
So I did a thing. I decided nothing would do, but I wanted to make dominoes because at some point I realized that I could, and no one stopped me. I learned a thing or two. I learned that if you want to figure out how many dominoes you need for a certain limit, like double 6, then you need the 6 plus 1 is 7, plus 6 plus 2 is 8. You multiply those together, you get 56 divided by 2, and it's 28. And it works for as many dominoes as you want. So my first plan was to do something really cool and make double 7 dominoes, because that's how many blanks I had. And then I lost about half my blanks and didn't do that thing. But it would have been 36, I guess, because I can memorize the possibilities instead of doing math in my head. So this took a lot longer than I thought it would, because I have this CNC machine, this little tabletop, SainSmart 3018, and I thought, well, that thing could drill the holes, which it did, and it drilled the with the little divider. It's kind of hard to see. Anyway, it did that. Well, I learned a lot of G-code doing this. I found out that the SainSmart 3018 may not support all of the Gribble 1.1 G codes, but it does G0 and G1 and G28 and M3 and M5. So it can move something, it can cut for a little while, and it can return to where it thinks it's safe. And one of these days I'm going to put the limit switches on there so it will home properly. So, what are the questions about somebody who spends nearly a year making dominoes? Go.
What kind of wood is it made from?
I wish I knew. I went to Woodcraft, and they had 2 or 3 kinds that were this nice brown color, and I got one of the cheaper ones. And I bought 2 or 3 boards of that, 2 or 3 feet long, and then I cut them down to the size widthwise, and then I put them on the laser printer while they're scorched on the edges, on the laser cutter, and cut out 28 millimeter by 56 millimeter blanks. And then I used one of the blanks, and I think I can actually show you this. Used one of the blanks to make a jig so I don't have to figure out where the domino is every time. And that worked really well. So, I don't know if you can see that or not. It's basically, it's just a piece of wood with a cutout for a domino, and then I made this little lever thing back there. I don't know if you can see it or not. It's kind of dark. It's basically a lever. Yeah, this seemed like the lower tech option. So I did that thing. So I drilled the holes with a 3 millimeter end mill. And I think if I'm doing this again, I was going to use either an end mill and wobble it around a little to make the hole slightly bigger, or I'm going to use one of those bullnose ones. So I'll have kind of a dish shape. But this is my first really CNC machine question.
Do you like to talk trash when you play dominoes?
Oh, who doesn't? Oh, who doesn't? To be fair, though, as far as delayed gratification goes, I wouldn't let myself play dominoes or buy dominoes since I started this. So I've got a little bit of domino angst going. I understand there are people who play dominoes and don't even think about how much trouble it is to make the darn dominoes. I am not one of those anymore. All right, so no one stopped me, so I did that thing. Any other And the brave soul want to draw me out into an even longer discourse. So next time I'm going to drill the holes deeper, and I'm going to inlay it. And basically push a dowel of the same sides down in it, saw it off flush, and then use the CNC machine to bore out a pocket. So it'll be flush and glued down and not look like somebody painted it who didn't really know what they were doing. Kind of knew what I was doing. Some of the paint got in there. But you need a smaller paintbrush if you have a smaller hole. So that's my great story about the dominoes, and we have not heard the last of this yet. Yay!
All right. Yeah, and just for future reference for anybody coming up, you can use this wheel on the side here to increase the zoom or decrease. Coming up next, we have Lucy, who's going to show some metal art.
Hello, everyone. Hey, so I promised a couple of people I would show my dogwoods. So here they are. Ta-da! The petals are, well, everything is hand cut. Yes, it would be a lot easier and faster to have it lasered, but as of right now, everything is hand cut individually. So the petals are stainless steel, and they are polished really, really good, so it's very reflective. And then all of the whole stem is mild steel. So I'm hoping to get more of the blue color in the mild steel, but I've not got that far yet. So, okay. Yes, I will give it a shot. It's probably too close. Okay, what was the question?
What's in the center? The base. That's the dogwood. Is that the center of the network coming through?
These, the stamens.
Yeah, how do you make those?
Those are actually pretty difficult. So what I did was I cut just my filler metal into little bitty sticks, and then I hit it, like I zap it really quickly with the torch, so it kind of like balls up on the end, and then I weld that little ball of little sticks to the stem first, and then I go in and put each petal on. Yes.
When you say hand cut,
Mm-hmm.
did you use like scissors from Fabric Art?
Yes, Fabric Arts hates me now. No, it's the grinding, the grinder with a cut wheel on it. So it's the angle grinder with a cut wheel on it. Yeah. Yes.
Do you know how you're gonna mount it when you're done?
So this one is like, the way I put the petals, it's just like supposed to just sit there. I don't know if I can get it to just sit there like that, but just, this one is meant to just stand like this on its own. I did make another one that is at home right now that I'm hoping to suspend in the air. Oh, thanks. So, and it depends on whatever, whatever I want it to look like, where I have it sitting or standing. Yes.
How did you contour the pedals?
That was on an anvil, and what I had to do to make sure I didn't have many imperfections in it, because I really wanted these to stand out, I put a welding glove on the anvil itself to keep it nice and smooth, and then I like hammered them a lot.
Grind the hammer marks out?
I tried to keep it protected with the gloves, so I didn't have that many hammer marks. And then if you see up close, they do have a little bit of imperfections, especially on the back, but you can't see it too much. And with the buffer, it kind of it forgives them a lot. Yes. Yes.
You were working that cold or hot?
The pedals on the anvil,
Yeah.
those were cold. They're very thin. I think they're only 16 gauge, so quite thin. And then I just hit it right here on the edges for the little bumps that dogwoods have. Yes. How long did it take? Each flower takes 2 hours at least, if I don't mess up. So each flower takes 2 hours each, and then it took me a good, well, the branch itself, I actually did stick in the forge just to like hammer it up and get some texture into it. So that took a while, and then putting everything together took another about 4 hours to put together. Anything else? Okay, thank you.
All right, coming up next, Amy is going to show a squid.
So it's more crochet critters, but I made a squid. I'll try to zoom out a little bit. It's got 2 eyes that aren't like 100% symmetrical, but you know, you look at it and it looks about right. I've been, over the last year or so, trying to felt more of my stuffed animals that I crochet. So this is 100% wool. It's like a really rough, loosely spun wool that someone recently donated a bunch of really nice wool to the fiber arts area, which is where I got this yarn. So if anyone's like a knitter or crocheter or anything, I would take a look back there. But yeah, I have not gotten any of the stuffed animals I crocheted, even the ones that are wool, that are like loose spun wool, that are like really rough and stuff. Every time I felt it, it still maintains really good stitch definition, which means you can like clearly see each individual stitch, which is fine. Like they're really tight, which is good, but I wanted to get something that looked more like a solid fabric. I actually asked Thea for advice on before I started this one, and she was like, well, you could take a scrub brush. So I felted this by hand instead of putting it in the laundry. So all you really need is like, I'm sure if anyone's had like wool sweaters that you accidentally like toss in the wash, you know, like all it really takes is some like friction and water. But I did it by hand this time, and I wonder how visible it'll be. It's mostly in my left hand. This time it's not stains, not this time. But you can see that I slightly rubbed my knuckles a little bit raw because I went like this first, which unfortunately was painful and ineffective. It wasn't until I started, so I crocheted it first. I crocheted in 2 parts. The first was like the mantle, and then the second was the body, and I didn't close either side. So rather than stuffing it and then trying to felt, I just had 2 pieces of like fabric basically, and after like dipping them and soaking them in hot soapy water, I just rubbed them back and forth really hard. And then following Thea's advice, I took a stiff brush, you know, like for dishes, and I scrubbed really hard in like circles with brushes, which is how you get more of a solid texture that's not just individual stitches. Yeah, yeah, I think it turned out pretty well. This is also an ad for the amigurumi class. So crocheted stuffed animals are called amigurumi. I'm teaching a class in like a week-ish. I don't remember the date exactly. So if you want to learn how to do this, more or less, I'm teaching a class. But yeah, questions? Yeah.
So you felted two pieces apart first?
Yeah, so I felted the two separate pieces. I guess the tentacles were all also individual, but I attached the tentacles to the body, and then this was one piece up here. Actually, you can see the seam right here. So this was one piece, and then this was one piece over here. And then I wonder if I can flip it up. Maybe not quite, but there's like a hidden seam under there. So I ended up stuffing it and then sewing it together. I tried to needle felt them together because it's wool, and I figured if I just poked enough, it would felt together. It didn't, but I broke a needle, which is unfortunate. So I just sewed it and then needle felted for extra security. Yeah.
The needle of surprise inside the toy.
No, luckily.
Hug it, seriously.
Yeah, do you want to check it? No, it broke. Luckily, it at least broke off, and I could just pull it out. Cool. Other questions? Thanks, everyone.
Very cool. Always love to see a cephalopod. All right. Next up, David is going to show some stained glass.
Okay, so I'm going to make this a little less about the stained glass that I did and give Arts and Crafts a shout out because they have been offering classes and teaching their butts off. So Arts and Crafts, thank you. Last Wednesday, I took the stained glass jewelry class, and Thursday did the tumbled glass class, and then went to Paint and Gain on Saturday. So at Paint and Gain, I made this. This is the first thing I've done that wasn't in the class. So come to Paint and Gain, it's a lot of fun, and help support Arts and Crafts with their classes and fundraising efforts. Any questions?
All right, thank you.
This took me 5-ish hours, so it's a full day.
What other stained glass did you do before that?
I did the earrings and the little pendant thing that we did in the class. So, no, unfortunately they don't go with any of my ensembles, so I gave them to my lady friend. So, anyway, all right, thanks, y'all.
All right. Next up, Rex is going to show a collage.
Thank you. I'm so glad that David just gave a shout out to Arts and Crafts because that's what I was going to do too. Is Matt still in here or did he leave?
He just ran away again. He leaves during the shout outs.
Oh, Mad Blanche. Well, I was going to give you a shout out, bro, because he was the one that did this awesome art collage class and Arts and Crafts like a couple months ago. And this was the collage I made, and I just wanted to say those collage classes are so awesome because it's like, it really, for me, like I hadn't made that much art in such a long time, and I feel like I had like creative cobwebs in my brain, and doing the collage just like opened up portals of creativity in my brain. So anyway, this is the one I made, and it kind of ended up having like a theme. Because, see, like, I found this, and it says, I don't mind being all alone, and that is so me. Like, I just love being single and all. And then, so I was like, I found this, like, sleeping turtle. And I was like, gosh, I can't put it on here. So there's a sleeping turtle on a skateboard. We can move these. Okay, let me see here. Come on, baby. Move. Okay, so I did like the sleeping turtle on the skateboard because turtles are like a lone creature, so that kind of worked out. Here we go. I think I got it. And then, so we have some turtle lingerie, which like that is a photograph of that was in a sculpture book. That's actual like real turtle lingerie, which was just so amazing. Like you would have to pay, oh gosh. I don't know how to show this. I guess I could turn it this way. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. No. But then like, so the theme was turtle and there's like a hand with like a snake and that's really all it is. But then there's like the lonely leaf right there, that lonely leaf picture. So that was like the theme of like, it was like independence and like being happy, being alone. And I've always been like that my whole life. I just prefer going to the movies by myself and doing things by myself. But anyway, I just wanted to share this, and I'm really sad that Matt left the room because I was kind of doing this for him, like I was going to do it last show and share, because those collage classes are so much fun. Like they really are, and anybody can do it. And you all just like sit at a table together and just like talk, and it's such like a bonding moment. It's just like so much fun, and anybody can do it. And thank you. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
All right. Up next, Jamie is going to share progress on a zipped pouch.
Hello. So last week I started a pouch, and today I worked on it some more. And let's see if I get I took some pictures. Where's my Apple Pencil? All right. Well, anyway. So those are the two sides of the pouch, the inside, and the dark lines here in the middle is where I've glued it to. I'm going to fold it over and have a rolled edge. So that's like, whoa, wow, that just took off. You're getting all the, okay, there we go. Let's try that again. All right, I haven't operated this way very often. Okay, so anyway, I've skived around the edges. And this dark area has been skived, and I put on contact cement. And here I've doubled the size of the contact cement. It was 9 millimeters. I went to 18 because I was folding it over. In contact cement, the way I understand it, you need cement on both sides for it to stick. Well, actually, you don't actually have to have that. So I didn't need to do that, just to glue it down to get it for sewing. So anyway, here I've rolled it over. You can see, yeah, so it's rolled over. This is, of course, still the inside, and I got this is the knife I used to skive around the edges. All right. Learn how to drive this thing. Okay, so I'm going to put the zipper in. I'm just sitting in here. So it's like 180 millimeters long. And the pouch is about 215. And so here I've roughed up the rolled side so glue will stick to it. So when I can glue it together, and here it is. Let's see if I can do this again. So there's glue on there, and there's the zipper with this jig I bought to help center it when I put it together. And there's glue on this as well on there. So now it's glued down in this picture, I believe. And you can see I've got about 10 millimeters on the end on that side. And over here I got 20, so I didn't quite get it center. So I have a solution for that. It's a knife, but anyway. It looks like, where did I cut it? Oh, here. Okay, I got these a little bit out of order. Yeah, so I had a roller knife and I fixed that problem so that it's in the center now. But now I need a skive again. And so, so there it is. So there's with the little pieces I cut off, and then they're gone. So you can see it's nice and straight over there, and over here it's kind of wonky because it's been skived. And here I've used this jig here to curve, and I use this knife to cut the curve, and then it's still not been skived, but here it's been skived. And the toothbrush I got here because there was a bunch of hairy, you can see there's a bunch of hairy, it's dirty. So I can see why people use dark zippers, okay? I mean, I'm like, I don't like the way this looks, this color change on the white. It's kind of ugly. So yeah, the next one may be a darker zipper. But anyway, so I try to clean it with that, and that's the sandpaper after I skive some more. And then this is a app I use to how long a thread I needed to sew it. And here I've punched the holes. So I have 2 punches here. This one here is the angled ones. If you can see, these holes are angled. This is like for a saddle stitch. Hopefully you can see that. And then to get my saddle stitching needles, harness needles through the holes, I use this one. This one's round. These are just round, but they're the same pitch, 3 millimeters pitch on these two. And so I use this one first before I glued it together, and then after I glued it together, I poked holes through with the round one so that I could sew it up. This is my sewing apparatus. And this is it sewed together, and that's the status it's in right now. And here's the actual one. Yeah, so anyway. And here it is sewed up. So part 3 will be next week, and but hopefully by then I'll have this folded over and like this and sewed and then turned right side out. That's my plan. I think this one would benefit from a lining, but I'll probably do that next time. So anyway, that's all I have. Yes, sir.
I don't know about cutting leather. That knife that you showed was a surprise. I don't understand how it cuts it.
Oh, so which knife? So I showed 2 knives. This one or the other one?
Yeah, that one.
So that one you hold like this. It's a Japanese knife.
So you rock it along?
Yeah. So what I did was I put this jig along the edge. I lined it up. And of course there was leather. This was square before, right?
Yeah.
And so I held that. This is to hold the radius, and then I took that knife along the edge and then cut like that.
The cutting edge is the top.
The cutting edge is this top. It's got, I was sharpening it, so that's why, it has the ink on it.
How much time you got in it so far?
Since I retired, I don't keep track of those things. Thank you for adding the question, though. I've been working on the answer. Any more questions? No. Yes, ma'am.
The punch things that you've got, are they specifically for leather work? The punch is to make the holes, and then the other one to poke the thread through.
Oh, yes. Yeah. So these are pricking irons, and those are made especially for leather. Yeah, so this one here is from Crimson Hide. Well, here you can see where I live. Let me see. This one's Crimson Hide. I think these are both overseas, and this one is KS Blade and Punch. They're in Korea. I think this other one's Singapore. But anyway, you can get domestic ones too. But they have all kinds of these kind of things. Yeah, they're made for leather. Okay. All right. Thank you.
wait to see the finished result. All right, last name I have on my list is Carteret, who's showing camper and Steva studio equipment.
I feel like the way my life works, everything is connected with like the physical objects that I interact with, projects I create, and also traveling and intersection with people and everything. Last week I had presented about some music, a music server, and also had a gig coming up. This was the flyer for the gig, which was last weekend in Cookeville. And I took the momentum from that to slingshot me out to Middle Tennessee to deliver the last load of belongings from a past partner and pick up the last of my belongings from this location, which is this right here. I didn't bring it. I did. The lights are not working on this trailer. They've worked before, and so that's what I want to tend to today, this evening. And if there's anybody who's good with electrical stuff that can lend me a hand or perspective on that, I'd love to receive it. There are a lot of things I feel like I'm really good at, and electrical isn't one of them. So that's kind of like the project that I had planned for this evening. I also just saw that Seva is the owner of the only purpose-built music studio here in Knoxville that I'm aware of. I just saw posted that is getting rid of a bunch of music gear tonight, which I don't have the bandwidth to go pick up anything or the room to store it. But if there's anybody, if there's anybody who's into that kind of thing, I have no idea what's there, but there's some free music equipment from a studio in off like Cedar Bluff. And then the last piece for me is, after leaving here this evening, I've got friends who are playing at a spot over off, Sevier, the Riverside, South Knoxville, that I'm planning to go to their show. And that's all I got tonight. So it's like, yeah, the intersection of physical objects, but also of my flow and the way that I connect and intersect with different groups of people. And then I also love connecting people from different groups. So this is one of the groups that I'm interacting with, and there are many, many more, and I love connecting people. And that's all for now.
Anyone have anything else to show that didn't make it on the list? Yes, Isaac, I saw first.
I don't know if you guys can relate to this, but sometimes in a project, I get to what feels like an inflection point, like whatever work came before and whatever work I anticipate coming later, I recognize in the next few minutes, this may all come to a crashing halt. Or maybe not. And I can psych myself out when I feel like I'm getting to that point with a project. And I overcame that last evening, and I feel moved to share it with you, as interesting as I suspect it may not entirely be. What I want to show you, this is the brain of a cheap, relatively speaking, Chinese kitty litter robot. And to control this robot, you would need to install an entirely untrustworthy app on your phone and expose all of your devices to the Chinese. And there's no part of that I'm okay with. But it's been explained to me that it's very, very important that we have an automatic kitty litter robot. And so I have extracted the control board from this untrustworthy machine. And the naughty bit is this thing here. This chip comes from a particular company that's going to connect to the Chinese data cloud. And so that needs to go. And when you're doing electronics like this, the hope is that you can identify which half you don't need. So either you're going to wreck the board or you're going to wreck the chip to get them apart. But I feel that I really need both, because I may need to interrogate this chip later, but I definitely need the control board. And so to get these parts separate, you have to try and heat up and melt each of these individual solder connections, of which there are like 16, simultaneously while delicately removing the chip. And this is the sort of thing that some people do day in and day out very casually for a living. I have never done this before. And this thing came from China, and it took a long time to get here, and the shipping was a lot of money, and if I screw this up, it's going to be really inconvenient for me. So what I did, what I had never done before, is this. I got this crazy material, which is a special kind of solder that metallurgically has been formulated to melt at a very low temperature. And so you lay all this flux down and make a horrible mess over all the connections, and then you put this special solder down and you melt it all and you mix it all up, and it all becomes a molten pool of metal. And because it has so much thermal mass and because its melting point is so low, the theory is that you can get it all melted and get it to stay melty long enough that you can safely remove it, right? That's the thought. But the trick is that you've got to control all this heat the whole time, because you don't want to wipe out any of the electronics. Heat is what kills electronics. So it's a delicate operation, and you got to do it fast. So here I've laid it all out and gotten it ready, and I couldn't take pictures of the soldering part. This is pre-soldering, but now I've made a horrible mess with it. And look, it's coming loose. It's coming loose. I've melted it, and now I'm pulling it loose, and I'm really stoked in this moment. And now I've got this terrible thing off of my circuit board, and it looks like nothing caught on fire. And now there's this awful mess left behind, of course. And so now you just got to go in here and clean all this up. So more flux and more solder wick, and after a few minutes, it's almost like that filthy thing was never part of the circuit board. And so I had been dreading it so badly, and it's like, 6-7 minutes, and it's all over with, one way or the other, right? I think it worked. So this is a tiny piece of a larger project, and maybe I'll have more to share with you one way or the other, ultimately. That's it. Oh, sorry, what?
Sorry, you don't need to run off.
All right, what?
So, how have the cats been going while this has been happening?
They're really tired of holding it. No, this is for house cat. Yes, sir.
What is the name of the low-melt solder?
This is from a company called ChipQuick. ChipQuick makes all sorts of products for solder rework and soldering. Canadian, I believe, and they're known to be the best. So I ordered that stuff to give myself the best odds. Sir.
Do you mean Canadian for not to be the best, or that kind of?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. It's about the size of a postage stamp in all. Right? Yes?
What was the brand of the original, glitter thing you got?
The brand is, I assume you would call it Tone Pie. It's Tonepie. It's like a string of random English characters. The reason I picked that one is because it is the only cat litter robot in the world that I could find any evidence that anybody else had ever hacked. And so there's some information about it on the internet, and I thought this is going to give me a real shot in the arm, right? I didn't actually do the purchasing myself, and when it arrived and I took it apart, I realized that although it looked exactly the same on the outside, the inside is completely indistinguishable, like it's totally different. And I realized this is a new revision of the product, and so the circuit board is different, the wiring is all different, everything is totally different. And so I have no idea what I'm in for, but now, boy, I'm stuck with it, so I'm going to try and make it work one way or the other. Okay? Thanks.
Can't wait to see how you integrate your cat litter box into your home automation network. You had one, Brett? Yeah, here you go.
Hi, I'm Brad. I don't mind being alone either. But I thought I would show, for a friend, I'm building a liquor cart. So he can roll around and serve to his guests. And so I'm trying to make it mission style, craftsman style, and but I'm doing it with yellow pine. I really like yellow pine. And I go to Lowe's and I pick through their yellow pine. Lowe's has a real nice stock of yellow pine. and get the stuff that's as close to quarter sawn as I can with real straight grain. And so the legs on this has 4 legs. It's 30 by 31, 30 by 18. Have casters on the bottom. The posts are 2 by 2, and I'm making them quadrilateral, easy for me to say, which is the way Stickley, the famous arts and crafts furniture builder, he invented this. And what it is, you glue together enough boards to make your thickness. In my case, it was 3 boards to make 2 inches. And then on the sides where you would see the seams of the 3 boards, you glue veneer, which is also quarter sawn or rift sawn, like the other boards, so that you can see the quarter sawn straight grain on all 4 sides, which doesn't occur in nature. So I've got a couple of pictures of what this looks like in pieces. So, well, that's pretty good. So that's where I've glued the 3 together, and then the veneer, which is real thick, and I wouldn't make it this thick if I did it again. But then I radius the corner off with the radius ending exactly where that seam is on the side, so that that seam tends to disappear because there's a shadow line there. So there it is all glued together. And I love the straight grain pine. And so you can see the 5 pieces it takes to make one. So there are the 4 legs. And then I got a few more pictures just of what this thing looks like. I've made a little bead that goes around the bottom. And I do have a little, this was fitting it. So that's my little, I did that with my shooting board that I made with the only way you can get miters that good is with a hand plane. You can't, there's not a machine that cuts it that well, that easily. So here it is coming along. You can see all that nice straight grain quarter sawn. And just for your information, the finish will be, here it is where about it is now. And I'm going to have a tray that removes from the bottom. And the top will have a glass, it'll be a frame mitered on the corners with the glass top, set in flush. So it's easy to clean. It'll be tempered glass, 1/4 inch thick. And and then they'll have caster wheels. I found some nice ones with polyurethane on the bottom. So that's my little liquor cart. Any questions?
Can we visit your friend when it's done?
Absolutely. He's got a condo right over here on the river. I think he'd be happy to host that. And he's got a good stash over there. Any more?
All right. Any more unlisted shares? No? Oh, Joe, you got something?
Yeah, I got just a quick one.
Okay.
If I heard you correctly. Yep. If I didn't, I'll just intrude. Which I'm going to do a brief thing on eventually. The fact that my hearing is so crappy. Yeah. So some people might recognize this. This is my macro dwarf tomato. These plants, that's a nursery tray. There's 14 4-inch pots in there. They grow about 6 inches tall. You can see it's completely covered with tomatoes. I'm giving away the seeds, and I've got a bunch of them back in the sowing section where I'm working on a cover for a Kratky hydroponic system for growing these micro dwarf tomatoes. If anybody wants to come by and chat, I'll give you some seeds. Any questions? Oh yeah, I couldn't hear it anyway.
All right. If that's all, then we have a bunch of classes coming up, and almost all of them are sold out. So better luck next time. But right after this, where Matt and Ashley have been prepping for out there is a craft going on after this tonight, which is making a book safe. So if you ever wanted to hollow out a book to keep stuff in, You can make one tonight if you brought a book, great. But if not, they have some books available. But that'll be out here right after show and share is done, and that's just free for everybody who wants to participate. And this Saturday, April 4th at 1 p.m., there is a Quilty Pleasures meetup. And also on Saturday at 2 is a Woodworking 103 bandsaw authorization. So if you want to get authorized to learn the bandsaws out in the wood shop, that is the class to take. And then next week on Tuesday we have a new member onboarding. So if you are a new or prospective member and want to learn more about Knox Makers, that would be the time to do it. And then there are still tickets left for the amigurumi basics that Amy mentioned. That's happening on the 8th. And then there's a bunch more, which you can find on our new updated website, y'all. All right. If you haven't checked it out yet, knoxmakers.org is nice and flashy and redone, and it works faster, and the calendar looks different, and stuff's laid out different. It was a big haul, so big thank you to John Dale and Daryl and Billy assistants, and yeah, just a really great job. So please check that out if you haven't seen it yet, because it is very nice. And yeah, it's going to just continue to improve in the coming days as we work out the bugs. And yeah, but if you haven't checked that out, please do. And with that, I'll close up tonight's show and share. And like I said, there's a Make a Book Safe going on happening right after this. So enjoy. Thanks for coming out.